My name is Adrian Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So every day, or more or less every day, I'm taking and finding entrepreneurs from all over the world, people that are doing remarkable things with their life, starting their own destiny, doing their own life, doing things the way they want to do it, becoming remarkable in the process. Today I'm joined with Mia, and Mia, please tell the audience at home and the listeners, who are you, what do you believe, what are you doing, and what difference are you making in the world?
Yeah. So hi, Adrian. First off, thank you so much for having me. My name is Mia Ari Bello, and I own the Mia Bello Agency, and it's a full-service PR firm. We handle everything from like branding to marketing to PR, development, persona management, all of those things. We are based here stateside. I have an office in Philly and in Atlanta. We do tons of business in New York, though, so New York's like our second home, which is like an hour and a half from Philly. I've had my firm officially almost 6 years, so I'm super excited. And I think the reason why I started my agency is because I did undergrad in Atlanta, and so I got to intern. Atlanta is like the home of entertainment. It's the home of like so many emerging brands, and I loved it. I missed out though on like the corporate piece. Like I felt like I got to do so much like entertainment PR, but I wanted to do like corporate stuff. So then I became the director of PR at a nonprofit in Vineland, New Jersey, and I felt like now I miss the entertainment stuff. So I was like, okay, how can I merge the two? And I remember saying, I wish that I had a way that I could bring them both together. And, my family just was like, well, I mean, if you can't find it, then create it. So that birthed the Mia Bello Agency. We represent clients from entertainment and fashion, your favorite celebrities, your favorite shows on television. And then, on the other side, we also get the unique opportunity to represent corporate brands, which is super cool, that we're an agency that represents both the content and the content creator, which is super cool. I mean, we represent production houses, but then we represent some of the actors sometimes on television. We've done New York Fashion Week. I'm one of very few Black-owned PR firms that got to do New York Fashion Week, and we did it 3 shows in 1 season. So to be able to like demolish those goals is like super cool for me. I think one of the things that I wanted to do though is I wanted to be able to take it to the next level. I didn't want to just stay with like PR, right? Because PR is truly a business that you have to like get up every day and work. If you do not work, you literally have no residual income in PR. And I guess one of the cool things I always tell people is that if you're not doing something where your money makes money in your sleep, you're doing something wrong. Well, clearly I couldn't do that in PR. So I took my love of, fashion. I took my love of technology. I took my love of e-commerce, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to create a couple brands. So I got to team up with some people, and I'm working on some really cool things. I'm working on a really dope denim line for girls that are a bit curvier, because, being curvy and being plus size are very different things. Because I'm curvy, but I don't match the plus size market, right? I had to create something that was just for us. So I'm working on that. And I'm working on so many other things just like outside of the Mia Bello Agency. We are a full service PR firm. I have full-time employees at the agency, so I don't negate my responsibilities there, but I wanted to live by the same creed that I teach my clients, that I wanted to be able to have so many things that I can bring to the table in terms of like when I get ready to retire. I wanted to make sure I had that. So I decided to like start these brands on the side. So I'm super excited for their growth. One of the questions you asked me is purpose. Like, what do I feel like my purpose is? And I think my purpose is to inspire young girls. One of the things that I want to be able to do is to live out this purpose to teach young girls to worry far less about glass slippers and much more about shattering glass ceilings. That's what I want to do. I think that, women sometimes we reach the ceiling where it's like we can't go but so far. I want to be one of those people on the top Forbes list, and I want it to be common that women are on the top Forbes list. I don't want it to be like an exception. So I just want to inspire young girls that you can be pretty and you can be fashionable and you can be smart and you can make a lot of money and you can build a family and raise a family one day. And you can do all of these things and you don't have to change who you are to do those things. So if you ask me what's my purpose in life, I think that's my purpose, to just inspire all these young girls to be great, I guess.
Well, Mia, that's a hell of a story. That's pretty cool. Congratulations on your own business.
Thanks.
With regards to your purpose, I'm just very curious, how are you enacting that? How are you making that possible?
Yeah, it's cool. So I started with this nonprofit that I created, the Miss Royalty organization. And Miss Royalty is like a really cool pageant program that rewards girls for their scholastic achievement and their community service, right? But I was like, I want to take it a little bit further. So my goal is to create this brand where I become the bank for future female entrepreneurs. That's what I want to be. Like, I have this one dream, right? And I'll share it with you guys because you guys are like my friends now. So I have this one dream, and the dream is like really vivid. It's like, my dream is to wake up one day, get on Twitter and tweet, who has a dream? That's a girl. And she tweets me her dream. And then I say, I'm going to pay for your dream for a year. That's what I want. No long campaign, no long search. I just want to be able to further their goals. The way that I'm doing that, though, is teaming up with like-minded individuals like myself that have the same similar goals, and I want to be able to create that. I also want to create an incubator like location where female entrepreneurs can go. What's super cool? Men, they have those types of they have the cigar bars, and they have all of these things where they can come and they can do work, and it's kind of like the boys' club. For women, all we have is like spas and nail salons. We really don't have a place that we can go that we can also work, and then we can also quote unquote play. That doesn't exist for us. So I want to create stuff like that. That's what I want to do. So it's like the way that I'm getting it done.
Oh yeah, great. Incubations, especially with the business and support, teaching people what the hell to do for business. Yeah, that sounds amazing. How do you want them to break the glass ceiling, though? I'm just very curious about the semantics. Is it a case of just like self-belief, or is it a case of society, or is it a case of the awareness or understanding or the tenacity to be an entrepreneur? What are your thoughts?
I think that you break the glass ceiling by being unapologetically yourself, where you pursue dreams without a thought. It's so crazy. One of the things that my mom always taught me is that, you do not chase money, love, or success. You become the best version of yourself, and those things will start to pursue you, right? So that's the thing that I want to teach young girls, that all you do is I want you to pursue your dream with like reckless abandon. I want you to pursue it without an idea of what could be. Kids, they're like, if you ask a 4-year-old what they want to be, they say, I want to be an astronaut. They think nothing about the cost, the length of education, how long it's going to take, how many competitions they have to compete against. They never think about how many people don't make it. They just want to be an astronaut. And you can't tell them that they can't be. I truly feel that that's how we have to live. Do you know what's so crazy? And I often say it is that we are born creative, but we're educated out of that creativity. Like, that's so true. When you are a child, you're innate you yourself. So I try to teach young girls to remain in that mindset that you can do any and everything that you put your mind to. And it's crazy because I live by this thing called faith. And, people sometimes don't realize that when you walk by faith and not by sight, it doesn't make you blind to what you see. It just manages your reaction to the very thing that you see. So when you have faith in your mind, I still see all the challenges around me, right? But my faith tells me that I can accomplish it. So I feel like if I'm teaching young girls that, you have to react in that way. If there is a mountain that you have to climb, see yourself at the top. See nothing but the top. See nothing below you, nothing beside you. See nothing but the top. And stop at nothing until what you see is where you are. So if I am pursuing greatness, I'm going to pursue that with greatness in mind. In my mind, I have it. So I walk like I have it. I talk like I have it. And then it's so. So that's what I try to teach them to do.
Yeah, definitely a few things there. There seems to be two kinds of people in the world. There are those that see what they want and go for it. And there are those that see what they want, but they only see the obstacles and
Yeah.
that stops them from getting what they want.
Right. So true. So true.
And yeah, and I was talking in a previous podcast. The guest talked about having putting meaning over money, and I think that's a good way of essentially encapsulating so as to do what you want, and the business or the ventures and all the rest, but have a purpose, have a vision, have a guiding star that
Yeah.
sets the standards and the principles for what you do and how you interact with the world.
Yeah. So true. I agree with you. You know, if you follow purpose, profit will always come. You know, if you start with profit in mind, you'll get nowhere. If you start with purpose in mind, as I do what I love, the money comes. You know, I've never done $1 advertisement for the Mia Ari agency, and I never will, because the clients that I want are the clients that are attracted to who we are, not just what we do. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And also, one of the things you said, that being unapologetically true to yourself and being unapologetically yourself, I think it's worth understanding that's the old saying of fake it till you make it is a little bit misleading. Whereas instead, I think it's more a case of faking it until you become it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's the difference between being fraudulent, right, and walking with confidence. So, you know, it's cool to, fake it till you make it. But here's the thing. Faking it gets you in the door, but what's going to keep you in the room? You know, I think it's very cool to be like, oh, fake it till you make it. But if faking it gets you in the door, what's going to keep you in the room? So I don't believe that you have to fake it until you make it. I think you have to walk with confidence, but work hard so that what you're attempting to fake becomes your reality. That's what I think you have to do. And that's very hard in the age of social media, in the age of trying to be something that you're not. We're fighting so hard to compete with this ideology of what people are on the internet. And it's so crazy because on the internet, you see 5% of an edited version, filtered down, watered down, professional retouching version of who a person is. I'm the first person to tell people, like, my social media is cool, but it's full of editing. My Instagram is full of perfectly captured moments, right? I take 10 million selfies to find the perfect one. Everybody has that little recycle bin of things that they want to get rid of that they're not proud of. So to try to measure your life based on what you see on my social media or someone else's, I'm the author of publicity. It's my job to create I call it ulterior facts for clients at the time. So, I just want people to live up to the truth of who they are, because if you try to measure my truth is not what you see on Instagram. You don't see the days when I look terrible and I'm having a bad hair day, or I'm fighting with clients, or clients are yelling at me, or I'm fighting as hard as I can to, get to this interview on time amidst the craziness of travel. All you see is that picture perfect button with the easy button, the done. So I always try to tell people, faking it is cool, but remember the authenticity of who you are. Because authenticity will always keep you in the room. So even if you take that little fake it till you make it to get there, that's cool. That's fine. But make sure that even in that you use your authenticity to keep you in the room.
Oh yeah, definitely. And speaking of authentic and truth, earlier you mentioned the faith. The faith with regards to keeping on your mission, keeping on your purpose. Where did you get that strength and that confidence to stick to that mission and purpose?
You asked me where I found my faith in my broken place, right? So, I come from a well-to-do family where everybody's well. So it wasn't until I went through moments that are really tough that I found my faith. If you have nothing to trust, I'm a Christian, so my belief is in God. Which a lot of people, that's not, a popular opinion, but that's me. So because my belief is in God, I allow my faith to be challenged, not by what's going on around me, but because of what I see, what I see myself being. It wasn't until that I went through being truly broken that I found my faith. If I had never been broken, if I never went through the broken place, I would never have found my strength. And my faith is what built my strength. So I tell people to revel in those hard places. Revel in those places that aren't popular, those places that don't feel too comfortable. Stay there, grow there, because it's something you're supposed to grow through while you're going through. And I think that if you really understand that, that's where you'll find faith. I could have never found my faith if everything was good. You know, I had to go through some things so that I can grow through those things so that I can now inspire others. That's where that faith came from. You know, it's no self-help book, you know, maybe the Bible, but there's no self-help book that I've read. There's no moment, you know, that all of these people talk about. There's this moment that you have where all of a sudden faith comes. No, faith comes at the toughest of times. When you're in the middle of your house, in the middle of the night, and you sometimes think, there are people thinking about suicide. You're thinking about throwing your business away. You're thinking about giving it all up. I'm talking about that ugly cry that you have. Everybody has that moment. Everybody has that moment where life hits you and you're like, what am I going to do? It is in that moment, when you fight out of that moment, that you find that faith.
I'm just curious, if you don't mind, you said that we all have the toughest of times.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a story about some of the toughest of times that you've gone through? Would that be okay?
Yeah, you know, this is going to be a secret. I don't think I've ever talked about this in an interview.
Your prerogative.
No, we can talk about it. So I actually went through a marriage at a very young age, and I ran off and I got married. And at that time, it was something that I shouldn't have done. It was something that nobody believed I should have done. And everything in me thought that it was the right thing to do. And it was terrible. And everything about that situation was bad. It was physically wrong. It was physically unhealthy. It was mentally and emotionally unhealthy. And when I left that situation, it was like everything fell because I had lost my identity in who he was and who we were, that I forgot who I was. But it was up until that moment that I had no reason to trust. I had no reason to have faith. I came from a well-to-do family. I always did well in school. Financially, I was always okay. I was like the light kid, you know, I was the light girl. So I never really had those issues, right? But it wasn't until that situation that I had to like really snap out of it and realize, you know what? I can't stay here anymore. I didn't know in leaving that situation that I would face the darkest time in life. It's crazy because when I was going through it, I thought that was the darkest time in life. But it wasn't until I finally walked away from that person that I really had to be alone with who Mia was. And I didn't like who Mia had become. And I had to deal with Mia. And in dealing with Mia, I had to deal with Mia's insecurities, Mia's selfishness, Mia's resentment, Mia's hurt that she never got over, Mia's feelings of abandonment and insecurity and not liking who I was, not thinking I'm good enough. And in that moment, that was the first time in life I've ever been alone, ever. I've always had family, friends, a boyfriend, you know, at that point, a husband, I guess if you want to call him that. And it was like, at that moment, it was like, you are finally alone. And now your back is against the wall. And the only person that you have to depend on is you. And now what are you going to do about it? And that was the moment that it was like, it was sink or swim. You done got yourself out in the middle of this ocean because you refused to believe that in what God had for you. You were so impatient that you wanted to rush his purpose. Now you have found yourself in the middle of the sea. You barely can swim, but what are you going to do? Try to use the little bit of strength that you can to swim, or stay here and be stuck and angry about where you are and where you found yourself in life and decide to sink? And I looked myself in that mirror and I started to swim. And it's so crazy because it wasn't until recently that this all happened 4 years ago, right? Almost 5 years ago. And so it wasn't until the end of that thing birthed the purpose of the Mia Bello agency. I experienced a massive success that I have never experienced in life. And it's so crazy. Just recently this year, that person tried to entertain me again. But I'm just like not that girl anymore. And so it wasn't until now that I realized how far I could become, you know, even just financially, you know, where I was, we couldn't talk the same language. We don't walk the same walk. Our goals and our ideals are different. And it's interesting. And in true transparency, I will tell you, I tried this time to entertain it for 2 months and I just couldn't. I said, I've come so far. Somebody said on Instagram the other day, don't allow God to build you up just to fall down from the same thing he built you from. And I couldn't do it no more. And that was that situation. That's where that faith came from, because that was the darkest time in my life. I am a pastor's kid. I come from a family of praying people, a family of church people. But it was like the money, the church people, the success, the popularity, the prettiness, none of that could save me from where I had found myself in the middle of that ocean of brokenness. And it was in that moment that as I'm swimming myself back to shore, with each stroke, I got stronger and stronger. And you don't realize how strong you got until you get on shore and you look back and you see how far you come from. You be like, I really swam that far? But I did it. And so it's like in that moment, so when people always ask me, it's the first time I've ever talked about this, which is weird, but when people always ask me, like, you know, where did that strength come from? And I'm like, if you only knew, you know, the strength to pursue business came from a broken place in my personal life. So even though I'm single now and I adore being single and I know that, you know, whoever will be for me will come. And everybody's asking me, like, well, you know, you're 29 now, so are you going to hurry up and have kids? Are you going to hurry up and get married? And I'm like, you know what's so crazy? When you've rushed for the wrong one so many times, and that one time almost cost you your life, it'll make you patient enough to wait for the right one. So I'm like, yeah, I want the right one, but I'm willing to wait. As long as I have to, I'm going to wait.
Well, that's quite a story. Even the bit at the end, the advice willing to wait. Well, that's quite a lot to go through. That's a lot to process. And so you use this darkest of times as the energy to change your life, to essentially start your PR company as well.
Absolutely. I started it in the basement of my mother's house 4 days from leaving my ex. I was like, I had the idea and I was like toying around with it and doing a couple of like stuff for friends and stuff, but it was like the ending of our relationship is when I really started to really pursue it. And he didn't believe in it, right? And so it was just like, okay, so I put it on hold. I do a little bit of clients here, but I put it on hold. And then I was like, I don't have nothing to hold me back now. So I started it. So the end of an era started the best thing that has ever happened to me. And that is the Mia Bello Agency. It has given me so much success. It has provided me with the opportunity to travel, to inspire some of the dopest brands that are on television and in malls and on movies. And so, yeah, I wouldn't trade that broken place. If it wasn't for that situation, I wouldn't be here today. So, you know, when people ask me, you know, do I have resentment against like my ex and stuff? Absolutely not. Everything that happened in that relationship is a product of not being ready and rushing for something that was not ever meant for me. So, yeah, I'm good.
That's great to know. I myself was in a relationship that was rather toxic a few years ago.
Really?
Yeah, 2 or so years ago. Let me think for a split second. She wasn't really interested in business and entrepreneurship, the stuff that I was doing, but also at the same time, compared to then, I've changed a lot, I've learnt a lot, and really dragging me down. Rather toxic personality, not enthusiastic, very, or saw herself as the victim, really didn't see herself doing anything with life, or very vindictive to family and friends in the world, and not the kind of people you really want to be around, that really drag you down. And luckily it didn't last very long. It was only like a few months relationship, 4, 5, 6 or so months, and it just ended rather abruptly. So those kind of relationships not really what you want to be, or not what you want to pursue and have in life as well.
Right, for sure, it's so true.
But I'm also just very curious because you said that that your partner didn't really, it helped you to pursue starting your PR business. What does your PR business do exactly? Because when you PR, all I can imagine is press releases, dealing with the press, interviews like this, arranging it. What exactly do you do?
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
It depends on the type of client. So, like, if you have an artist, right? You are handling everything from helping your artist coordinate his tour, listening to music, coming up with names of albums, planning tours, planning merchandise, working with web people, sitting at photo shoots, making sure the pictures are in alignment with the brand, going over color schemes, social media, posting for them on social media. It is a lot. And that's just an artist, right? And so for a publicist, we do everything up until the artist gets on the stage. And then once they get on the stage, that's the manager. For a fashion brand, you're handling photo shoots, campaign releases, planning New York Fashion Week, planning showings, finding celebrities to wear the clothing, approving different celebrities that come your way. We represent spas and stuff, so we do like grand openings, all that type of stuff. Actors, we are, helping them bridge the gap between them and producers, sending out cards, sending out publishing cards. You know, if we're working with a film company, planning screenings, helping find sponsors for films, helping to find commercial placement. It really just depends on the type of client. I mean, my assistant actually had this dream to start her cupcake boutique, and we helped her open and launch her cupcake boutique. And it's like, now I don't sleep, because now I'm helping her coming up with photo shoot ideas for cupcakes. So it's a never ending moment. Your publicist is like the closest person to your brand. Every brand needs a publicist, because that person helps you to relate to the public, whether it's visually, technically, digitally, socially, whether it's media-wise, whether it's development, brand development, business development, everything that helps you keep your business sustained and whole for, you know, the public to interact with you, for a consumer to support you, and for a customer to be able to patronize you. Your publicist is a partner in every part of that. It becomes overwhelming because I'm one person, so although the other people at the agency can work with clients, at the end of the day, they kind of want to talk to me. So sometimes you have to wear a million hats. Your phone never stops ringing. Sometimes you need more than one phone. But yeah, that's kind of the gist of what we do here.
Yeah, I knew my view of it would be very naive, and it kind of sounds like it's quasi-management. You're like, they're outsourcing all this management and organization and logistics to you. It's gone way beyond just talking to the press and photo shoots. It's logistics.
And the reward for good work is more work, right? So it's like
right.
a work. So if I do, like my one client, we killed New York Fashion Week, so now they're like, we want to do LA Fashion Week. You know what I mean? And so it's like a blessing and a curse to do great work, because then the clients are like, oh, you can do that? Oh, you can help me jump out of a jet? Now I want to jump out of a plane in Niagara Falls. You know, it's like they always want to press you to the limits, which is so amazing, because, you know, we do have clients that we've retained, you know, for years, and we don't represent competition, which is super cool. But that puts the pressure on us to deliver, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of pressure and limits, how does your PR company, on all the activities, relate to your purpose with regards to helping women break the glass ceiling?
Well, I think one of the coolest things, I get to employ these women, right? And I get to empower these women. You know what's the coolest thing that I say? The coolest thing is that if you work for the Mia Bell agency and you don't have your own dream, you can't work here. If you don't want to own your own something and do your own greatness, you can't be great here. Because if you don't serve the greatest purpose that you could ever serve, is the purpose that you serve for yourself. If you have nothing that you want to lead and do, you can't be here. I want nothing more for them to come here, work here, get insanely successful, go out, start something else, and then I have another person to lean on in this business. I don't want them to just work here. I don't want a bunch of doers here. I don't need any doers. You know, we have no space for doers. None. I have no space for people that just want to work here to ride the wave. I need you to create your own wave, so I can ride your wave every now and then. If you don't want to be great on your own, you can't be great here. That's hard, because a lot of companies, they don't do that. You know, they put their name all over everything, and, you know, Mia, no matter who is doing the work, Mia is the publicist. No, you can be represented by anybody you want here. You know, everybody here does great work. Everybody here is just as great as I am. I won't hire somebody that can't do exactly what I can do. I won't hire someone that I can't sit in a room with and be inspired by and learn something from them. I work with some of the dopest photographers. You know, I get to work with some of the coolest photographers in the world. Da Vinci, one of the photographers that I work with out of Philly, he's probably one of the biggest geniuses I've ever worked with in my life. I am proud to say that I work with him, that he doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want a stable of people that's quote unquote working for me. That's not cool. What's cool is to be like, yo, I work with some dope people. I connect and I link with some dope people. You know, I work with Complex Magazine and Huffington Post and all of these. You can't get those places if you're not willing to, like, reach across the aisle and be like, you are lit. You know what I mean? So I think it's super cool to be able to be like, these are the things that I'm doing. This is what I'm working on. So yeah, you know, I'm excited and thrilled. You know, I don't think I would ever be able to, first of all, I wouldn't be able to afford nor ever hire a genius like him, for example. So being able to outsource and work with his brand is like one of the coolest things in the world. That's what I live for. And I want to inspire those people. When I first found him, he was just interning. in New York Fashion Week, and I helped him start his company. And I was like, oh no, you are lit. You're going to take this to the next level. He already had a brand name and all this stuff anyway, but just like some of our conversations to see where he's gone. My clients sometimes book him, even when they don't need me right away. They'll call him, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah, I especially like how you alluded to, or you certainly implied that with your employees, you're pushing them out their comfort zone, you're helping them expand, you're being firm but fair, you're not leaving them on their own, but you're leaving them on their own just enough so, like yourself, they either sink or swim in your business.
Yes, absolutely. If you cannot get out there and go, if I can't send you to New York and you can't close the deal, then what you here for? If you can't go out there and get it done, why are you here? If I have to show you everything, then why are you here? If the only limit to your knowledge is what I've taught you, you can't be great here. You know what I mean? Take what I've taught you and go out and learn something else. If the limit to your knowledge is only what I teach you, you'll only be as good as me. No, I need you to be 10 times better than me. I need to come to you like, I can't think of something, and you need to be able to inspire me. There are so many people that I link with, even in my industry, that I'm like, oh, they would be dope. There's this publicist that I know. One of my favorite up-and-coming publicists is Milan. She owns U Management. She's bomb. She's taking this industry by storm. I pass clients to her, to be able to be like, hey, Milan, I got somebody for you. This client doesn't match my budget. This client, I can't represent them because of conflict of interest. Let me pass them over here. That's the type of stuff that I'm doing. I can't do that. I can't do that if I'm hating, if I'm threatened, if I'm trying to keep it all for myself. No, it's so much money out here. Everybody can eat,
Yeah, there's plenty of opportunity out there in the world.
For sure.
Yeah, there's a lot out there. It's crazy. You look at it today compared to 10 years ago, maybe even like 6 or so, 7 odd. It's a massive change with regards to opportunity. The information, the technology, the software, the hardware, it's all out there. It's just the only thing that's really limiting us and stopping us is ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. The limit to your ability is what you think you can do. No, nothing's stopping me but me. Nobody can tell me what I can and can't do. I'm going to be in this room. And I always say, for those that didn't let me in the door, I'm going to come back and I'm going to buy the building. So, you can try it if you want to and not let me in the door, but I promise you, I'll just come and buy the building.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Come back and buy the building.
Yeah.
But Mia, as we begin to wrap this up, what is next for you, and what you're working on now?
So the Mia Agency is super cool. We're working on the rebranding of our website, which is super, super cool. I want it to be like full of like multimedia stuff. So we're working on that, which that should be wrapped up in a month. I am getting ready to launch this curvy denim line, but I can't tell the name because I'm trying to wrap that up. I want to launch the undergarments line for women. My clients are doing so many things, fashion weeks and music is dropping. So what's next for Mia is just greatness. Mia has greatness in store. I am so grateful for the journey that I'm on, and I'm loving the girl that I am, but I am falling in love with the woman I'm fighting to become. And that woman is a woman that lives out purposefully, there's like so much change in life. My only little sister in the whole wide world in less than a month is getting ready to give birth to my little nephew. So as this generation is happening in my family, it really pushes me to pass down wealth. I feel like, especially families now, they pass down debt to their children. I want to pass down wealth. So I'm just working on that. So by any means necessary, I'm trying to secure the bag so that I can pass it down to generations to come. So that's what's next for me, greatness.
Yeah, I think greatness by default. Why settle for anything less,
Yeah, right, exactly.
But what is the best way for the audience to get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you can follow me on everything. Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, everything's exactly the same. It's at Mia Ari Bello. That's MiaAribell, like Liberty Bell. I do Ask Mia, hashtag Ask Mia on Mondays on Twitter, where you can ask me any question about branding or PR, and I'll answer it. Also, you can email at themiabelleagency.com, and I'll also try to answer those questions too. And then also, obviously, I do hashtag Mia Taught You on like Instagram. So like, let's just say you don't want to connect with me in real time, you can check those hashtags on both like Twitter and Instagram and read like tons of quotes and stuff. But I'm super social. I have a couple speaking engagements around the country this upcoming, fall season, as well as 2018. So I'm super excited to be in different cities. We have Atlanta, Miami, Chicago, Detroit, and Texas secured. So super excited. So I'm going to be everywhere. But yeah, you can find me on social media. That's like the easiest way. And then MiaAbelleAgency.com, MiaAriBello.com, all that stuff will take you to me.
Cool. I'll include a link to those in the description below.
Yeah.
But Mia, it was great having you on the show. Very inspiring.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful, and I cannot wait to chat with you again.
Yeah, thanks a lot for coming on the show. It means a lot.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye. And for ladies and gentlemen at home, if you haven't already, and you're on YouTube, click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that? But in the meantime, because this channel is all about becoming remarkable, go out there today and do something remarkable with your life.